Dr. Phil went down south to expose what Biden's been doing at the border. This is part of why Mayorkas was impeached, if you remember what Marjorie Taylor Greene said about him. But here's Dr. Phil with the real expose, which is that these liberals that claim to be compassionate by letting these people in are actually being cruel and inhuman to children. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. This is good work by Dr. Phil. Remember when Oprah started his career and he was just some family shrink? Well, now he's a full-on news reporter. This is great stuff.
And when they come in with someone that says, I'm their mother, aunt, uncle, or whatever, we have no way of verifying that.
We do not. We used to. Under President Trump, we had rapid DNA testing. That's been done away with. We don't even have rapid DNA testing anymore.
Under Trump, the border had rapid DNA testing. That's a technology that exists. It's affordable. We can do it. And now we don't under Biden. Why did Biden remove rapid DNA testing, where you cannot match a child with its parent that's supposed to be bringing it over the border? Because this is a strategy they use. They actually talk about the way that they use children is they pair a kid with someone on the other side of the border. They bring them over and they send the child back to pair them up with another parent. This is insane. This is immoral. This is liberal compassion in action. And you see how it's cruel.
So we have to take them at their word.
Are they given money, these people that are released into the country?
So it's our taxpayers that ultimately facilitate the travel. But yes, travel is facilitated and they are given all the necessities that they need.
Yeah, what's even worse is we are paying for it with our tax dollars. We are funding this. And by the way, for many of these people that live in this second class, invisible in the shadows existence, our taxpayers continue to pay because they can come to public school. We pay for that, which is huge on your property taxes. They use public medical facilities, not only the amount of money that it costs on them, but also, if you go in now to a doctor, there's a line of 15, 30 people in there. And they all happen to be Hispanic, no matter where you live. So this is a weird problem, and I have compassion for these people coming over. I don't see them as evil or anything. If my family was in another country, I'd do everything I could to get into America too. But this has to stop because they're trying to kill the golden goose is what Biden is doing. And if they are trying to manipulate votes, which is what Marjorie Taylor Greene was demonstrating with our video we did on Mayorkas yesterday, then that's treason.
And they're sent off to this number or address that is coordinated in some way.
That is correct.
And that could be a trafficker. It could be.
We believe that oftentimes it is a trafficker.
So our government is coordinating it. And these kids that these experts are saying they're pretty sure it's been documented that they're traffickers. That's Biden running a human trafficking ring on a scale that America has never seen before. Again, who's the bad guy? All they have to do is throw around these Department of Equity and Inclusion words like Trump racist, and dumb people don't think about it enough. Who's being the cruelest to these minorities?
That really affects us. That really bothers us because that's what we feel that we're here for. We feel that we're supposed to be protecting human life. And in reality, when we release them, we know they're going into something that's just not where they're not supposed to be going.
So our tax dollars are paying to sell children into sweatshop trafficking.
Essentially, yes.
And we know that. We knowingly are spending our tax dollars to sell children.
I did a little edit on that because it's not just sweatshop trafficking. He says another word that I can't use on the show, but I don't have to be coarse about it. You know what's happening with those children in many cases, and really one's too many. So, I don't need to pull out a slide rule and an abacus and add them up to find out how many kids are going where before we're horrified by it. But what's weird is the callousness and the cowardliness of the Biden administration and Karine Jean-Pierre to cover this stuff up, to mow it all over. For the last 4 years, it's the border was secure while all this was happening. They know it. and they're lying to you. That's why we're addressing this on this show, because I want to bring you the truth.
We do. There have been investigation after investigation that shows that a lot of these children are going into homes that are using these children for their own purposes.
And that's funded by our government, and probably intentional, that they want to use the kids to help leverage as many adults over the border as possible. They use the kids to pair them with an adult. So the kids are like a Teflon. Remember all the tears about Trump was separating families, and they showed families in cages and stuff. By the way, all of those cages were built by the Biden administration, and no one said anything. This goes back to our two-tiered justice system and two-tiered morality system, where if Trump does it, we know his intention is bad, so it's mean. And we know that if Biden and Obama do it, it's good. They get the cover of the Marxist ideology. That's how this works. The same laws are still here, but they know the intent must be bad. And I'm only saying, I don't care about Biden's intent. Maybe he has good intent. I doubt it, but maybe he does. I don't care. You're doing more evil than Trump did. And you have to get dumped out of office, because now they're going to go into what is the fix. It's not going to get fixed under this president.
It's a monstrous life that we're putting them into based upon our policies.
How, under any theory, is that okay?
What I'm holding in my hand here today is America's new slave trade.
It's new. You saw the little armbands that they use, that they pick up around the border. This is a business. This is highly funding the cartels south of the border, that our money is going in and creating a $1 billion formal industry, to a point that, remember yesterday we showed them dumping a giant, beautiful boat on the beach of Carlsbad as they came on, because the money doesn't matter anymore. And the cartels are flush with cash, and now with military technology.
They will not stop. They are going to have to be stopped. So let's just take fentanyl as a great example. How did we go from regular fentanyl to parafentanyl to serafentanyl, and now we're mixing zine categories of xylazine into it? Well, because when one cartel develops a capability, the other has to have it as well, and then they keep ratcheting up.
This is like a giant mafia case. Why isn't our government busting them on RICO charges instead of Trump in Fulton? Because this is an actual mafia, and that's what the RICO charges, the racketeering charges, organized, are designed to break up. It's the mafia that's down on the border, and instead they're using those laws to prosecute Trump in Fulton in a way that it's never been used against a presidential candidate.
All they want is to have a better product than their rival, because if they don't, Doc, that rival could make more money and now come in and take over their property when they are able to buy more of these armored vehicles.
Oh yes, they're buying armored vehicles. This is like Humvee level, not quite tanks, but heavy artillery. And their weaponry is getting worse. That puts our agents, and now our people that work the border, who are all brokenhearted because they know exactly what's happening and they're crushed. They have to keep working, even against this kind of weaponry.
When they're able to get more surface-to-air missiles, light anti-tank weapons, RPGs, and 50 caliber belt-fed machine guns. Things you and I have talked about. Get ready. America's going to be stunned at what we've allowed here.
Yeah, and this is just what's happening today. It's going to get so much worse as the fallout comes to this second class of citizens that Biden deliberately wants. He wants us at each other's throats. He wants us fighting for government handouts, fighting for services, fighting for a seat in a public school. He wants us fighting. So we're not going to fight, but we're going to vote Biden out of office. Let me know downstairs in the chat what you guys think. How sure are you that Trump is going to close the border on day one? It ends. I'm Doug in Exile. I hope you've subscribed.